Hello, I'm Brandon. Welcome back. This is part 2 of, I guess, session 0 of Edgeland. Last time we made the outline of our world, and as you can see on the screen there is the world sheet, and I went ahead and filled it all in with what we had rolled up last time. I did a little bit of setting. I named the location Grin. The city is Grin. And I just went ahead and divided it into high and low Grin. I got this idea that the affluent live a separate life from the lower classes. And I think it's going to help me explain why bullets and guns are so easy to get, but yet why murder is so illegal. I almost have this idea of having the rich entertained by the drama of the lower classes, and they only really care when the sanctity of life is threatened from a live or die standpoint, not from an injury or hurt standpoint. Anyway, so I decided that Gran is a massive trading city that has representatives from all the ancestries on the planet in it. It's also going to be the epicenter for the birth of magic and the Edgelander movement in the world, so a little bit tense. Maybe it'll be a melting pot that is about to explode, but we'll see. But today is about starting the character generation of the game. So let's go ahead and open my text file again. I am a fan of taking notes and then filling out the character sheet. So we'll probably do it just like we did last time, where I fill out the notes and then next time you come in, you'll see the character sheet and we'll play from the character sheet. Characters in Edgeland are created while you go through their life path. So they start as a child, you figure out what's happening with the child, and each step along the way assigns something to them that relates to the event that's happening. So there's only a few exceptions. This is a year 0 game, and so we have attributes of strength, agility, wits, and empathy. There's no skills in the game. Instead, we have methods. And methods are like a combination of social understanding and skills, but the skills are broad enough that you can use multiple skills for multiple things. So for instance, soldier is typically used for ranged weapons, but it could also be used for talking or understanding military and army tactics and that type of thing. Sneak can be used to sneak both physically, but also to sneak around in the net. So methods are kind of more general use, but overall the game functions a lot like Forbidden Lands does in terms of strength, agility, wits, and empathy, and those are also your hit points that take damage. While we're making characters, we just have to keep track of our maximums, because by the end of this, no attributes can be over 5, but that's only if it's your key attribute. Everything else has to be 4 or under, and no methods can be at 3 or higher, or higher than 3. So let's begin. Again, the numbers on the Lifepath entries are really just to keep track visually. So the first thing we do is we figure out if the character is part of the change. We've already established in the last session for world building that the character, there are no the changed in this setting, they're all ancestries, and there's a ton of ancestries. Lots of different species who all generally are human-like, in the sense they have, proportions like humans, maybe some minor cosmetic differences, and their ancestry talent or their change talent will set them apart, which we'll get to in a second. But there's tons of them. I know I had rolled originally like 2, but I kind of want this idea of this. I'm always going to have fun making new species to interact with. So the first thing we roll is we start rolling our changed, which sets our talent and our key attribute. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll attribute. Again, my red is always my tens die. I got a 42. So the key attribute for this character is going to be wits. I don't know why I wrote is going to be. It is wits. Again, when you're making a character, you can decide what you want them to be. You don't have to go with, just what you roll if it's not fun for you. Since we've already decided that most of the ancestries look very similar, I don't know if I need to roll on the extent of physical changes, but I think I will. It's a 3. It's obvious. Something is hard to hide has been changed. Your hair, a portion of your body the size of a limb. Alright, cool. Well, let's go ahead and roll on Cosmetic Changes to see if I can get a clue on that one. It's the color. Hair or portion of the body is a different color. Hair almost seems like cheating, since you can dye your hair or get your hair implanted any color you want. And I think if I go with, maybe I'll go with hands, or like weird shading throughout the temple area, like a silver or like a shimmery. Oh no, we'll start with that. Shimmery tone on the sides of the face. So it's obvious. I can't really hide it unless I put a helmet on. That might change. Once we know what the change talent is, it might change on us. So the change talent is a power or an ability that the character can spend edge on. They can get extra bonuses in the rules by spending edge. So we roll once on this chart, and I got a 6. It's a small character. They're harder for anyone bigger than you to catch or hit. You can spend edge to avoid damage from melee weapons from anyone bigger than you. You can spend multiple edge this way. I kind of like that. I don't mind being small. Small, fast character works. Now, if we would have rolled like a 1 for adaptive, we could have had like, a bonus to one of our methods, but only during like the nighttime and things like that. So it looks like a simple chart, but it can actually drill down pretty quick. All right, so we have a small character who is smart, or has the potential to be smart, smarter than a lot of other people, and there's like a shimmery skin anomaly on their faces. That's cool. I can live with that. All right, heritage. Heritage is not how you were raised, but how your parents were raised, and how that influences the character's outlook through how they were taught. So there's 2 charts here on the screen. One is how they're raised, and the other one is if it was one caregiver or both. So 5, gang or organized crime. 6, oh, they came from different backgrounds. So I'm gonna roll another die with a 4 for wage slaves, war and rats. Okay, interesting. One parent was gang crime, the other wage slave. I kind of like this. I don't know. I'm a sucker for romance sometimes. So, gang member falls in love with somebody who's been able to finagle their way into a new social standing and works for one of the corporations. It's kind of star-crossed lovers-ish. I kind of like that. And I also have to assign a plus to one of my attributes. Now, I don't really know what the character's like yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll it. And it says wits again, so that makes sense. one of these parents, or both, taught the character to live intelligently, I can live with that. Now, upbringing is how they actually were raised, what environment they were raised in. We will go ahead and roll that. 2. A private or corporate walled neighborhood or arcology. Interesting. And what attribute did that give me? 31. Agility. So automatically I start thinking of this like one parent was kind of like the bad person, so stereotypical, and the other person was in love with them. And I almost want to say that the wage slave corporate person was my mother, because if I'm raised in like a private or corporate walled neighborhood, or it makes sense that maybe my father doesn't know I exist or didn't know I existed. But we'll just leave it at that. You know, star-crossed, raised by one parent in corp environment. Yeah, why not? We'll go with that. And I'm just loose blanks. You know, this can all change once I fill out the character sheet. You know, usually I don't change it that much, but I flesh it out later. Next step is siblings. Of all the steps, siblings really don't do anything except set you up in case you want to use them for your relationships later on. Let's see if I have any. 5. I have 2 siblings. Because ancestries are the changed our ancestries in this world, I'm not going to roll for shared change. I'm just going to assume that we are. Unless we don't share parents. So for the first one, 5, both parents are biologically the same. And then I have an adopted sibling. Alright, cool. I'm just going to do S1. Biological, both parents. S2. Not biological. Adopted, maybe? Cool. And I typically don't go ahead and flesh these out right now. Sometimes I will go and find a name for them. There are charts at the end here where I could be like, okay, so first one is a male, the second one is a male. So they're 2 male siblings. Okay, cool. Male, got it. Male, and I can go ahead and roll like how we like each other. 4, we like each other equally, and equally. So we like each other equally. Equal. Got it. The biological one kind of throws my star-crossed thing over. I don't know. Maybe they weren't raised by dad? Yeah, like maybe they had a child and that child had to be left behind, but I was born in the corporate environment, something separate like that. I don't know. I kind of like it. We'll see how that works.